The first video I got lined up here for you guys is by our friend Maya, and it's his latest video that's been released. It's a month old, and it's why is it difficult for Africans to travel in Africa but easier for Europeans? That's a very interesting question to ask. So I'm very curious as to how Maya is going to break this down and how he's going to show us how it's easier for Europeans and how we can make it easier for Africans moving forward. So I hope he goes through that. If you guys don't know about Maya, man, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like his videos as well. Always support the original content creators. And let's go ahead and begin.
You won't believe what I'm about to tell you, but this is my story, and it's a true story. I have been detained in an African country. I don't know whether to laugh, smile, or cry.
Oh, it was back in the day.
Or feel, angry because I've been denied entry into Mozambique. If you travel and you experience things like this, sometimes it's frustrating. It feels like you need to give up on what you do. I have been deported in an African country, not just once, but twice. Yes, I showed you, there's no photo. Like I was here. This is a vlogging camera. I just have to hold it everywhere I go, mommy. I showed you everything. They said, you need to show what is the reason. I don't, and if you ask me what is the reason why I'm getting deported, I really don't know. Because I came here, they didn't say I'm getting deported, going back to Ghana. I have no problem with that, but I want to know why.
Oh, they didn't tell him why.
And the worst one that ever happened to me was the brawl that I had with immigration officers at the Togo-Ghana border.
So his neighbor, like right next door.
My goal on this channel is not to make any African country look bad. But the goal of this channel is to promote every single African country in a positive light to the world. The goal of this channel is to encourage more Africans to travel within their own continent, because I believe that Africa belongs to Africans, and it's time for Africans to cherish it.
Nah, he ain't running that fast, bro.
These borders that you create silos for yourselves amongst, you must always remember, are not your creation. These were creations of people outside of this continent who made these borders not to develop you, but to extract from you. Now that you want to develop yourself, we must start looking at these borders, and we must start removing the barriers that we have put, that have defined us in the past, and now hinder us from being the giant that we should be.
Crossing borders from all the 28 countries.
He's got a point.
How was it, man?
It's an adventure on its own.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But you're an African.
Exactly.
And it's an adventure.
On its own.
How adventurous? Believe me or not, after traveling 36 countries in Africa, traveling in Africa sometimes feels like hell.
And at some point, I was detained a bit because they told me I was spying for the Ghana Armed Forces.
You were detained?
Yes.
In Africa? What is the most expensive visa you ever applied on the continent?
Cameroon.
How much did you pay for that?
I paid $200 for it.
Is Cameroon not part of West Africa?
Whoa.
This is insane, because I still can't believe that in 21st century, Africans have to go through a great struggle in order to go see their fellow brothers and sisters living in another African country.
To visit a fellow African within the African Union, the visa restrictions in many of our nations, among us, between our brothers and sisters, is like trying to brush the teeth of a crocodile.
He's got a point there, man. From what I actually have seen on Maya's channel and even Tayo Aina's channel, it's very difficult for Africans to travel within Africa. And from people from Europe, from the US, or what have you, it's a lot easier for us to kind of move around because of where we're from. And it's such a shame that people that live within the continent and on the continent have the most trouble traveling within the continent. It's low key, like it's a horrible situation, and it's crazy that African people can't go visit their own African neighbors. Like, you can't even go from Ghana to Togo without having a problem.
Do you think
Wild.
Africans are scared of borderless Africa? My name is Wodamaya, a young African on a journey to showcase the beauty of Africa to the rest of the world, but also to promote intra-travel Africa for Africans within Africa. But one thing that I really discovered after traveling to 34 African countries is that it's so difficult for an African to travel Africa.
Yeah.
And that is why I decided to champion the Borderless Africa movement.
From Cape Town to Cairo, Senegal to Somalia,
The Marcus Garvey route, too. And he does look like Marcus Garvey, too.
But one thing that I noticed is that Africa is not borderless. In Botswana, dancing from music from Namibia.
So I don't think that Africans want borders. The borders that actually divide houses, part of your family home is in Aflao and the other half in Lome. Is that what we want?
He's got a point, man.
So I decided to champion a Borderless Africa mission just to ensure that young Africans can wake up today, go to their neighboring country just to find a wife, and if they don't find a wife, they can actually
find a
go
wife,
to another
bro.
country to eat and explore. This particular video means a lot to me. That is why I've taken my time to put a lot of pieces together. So you know what you need to help me. Let's create more awareness on the continent of Africa to allow free movement of people and goods. Can you like this video now? Thank you. Have you subscribed yet? Subscribe to be part of this 2 million awesome family.
Yo, he's got a lot of subscribers,
And
man.
most importantly, click on the share button. And if you can, tag your president in this video. Or if you have his phone number, send it to his WhatsApp.
Open borders now! Open borders now! Open borders now! Open borders now! Open borders now!
One thing that really stands out about Africans, when you travel in Africa, you are well received. You feel at home in every corner, just like me. I'm a Kenyan living in Ghana, and I feel right at home.
Okay.
Which country was your most hospitable moment, man?
I would like to categorize this.
Okay.
In terms of the general welcoming atmosphere, I will give it to the warm heart of Africa.
Malawi.
Malawi.
Okay. Hey, we got to go to Malawi, man.
That is one thing that you can never take it from Africans. I mean, I quite remember when I found myself in Uganda, I was received more like a president. I mean,
Yo, who are we kidding? Wodamaya low-key? Look, Wodamaya is the president of Africa, bro. I am claiming it for him right now. He is the president of Africa, like unofficially. But as you guys can see, like his body of work on his YouTube channel, he qualifies to be president of Africa, man. He promotes every single country in a positive light on his YouTube channel, and people can look at his YouTube channel, look at his body of work, and understand that Wodamaya may qualify to be the first president of Africa, the entire continent. Like I promise you, like if Africa goes borderless, we should vote Wodamaya for president of Africa, bro.
should I talk about my experiences in Malawi and Lesotho? The people really
Who's with
embraced
me, bro?
as one of their own. Of course. Oh my goodness. They love me out here in Lesotho, man. It makes me feel like I can call everywhere in Africa as my home. Because wherever I go, the people just embrace me. Hi. That is how
Bro,
Africans
it's
make
famous,
you feel
man.
whenever you find yourself in their countries. They just love you. One question that I really want to ask each and every African that is watching this video is that why is it so difficult for an African to travel to another African country?
That's a very good question, man.
My name is Xavier Daite Tulasi Humphresin. I'm a Ghanaian motorcycle enthusiast.
What's up,
Over
Mia?
the last couple of months, I've been on the road across Africa, covering at least 28 countries on a motorbike. It had not been an easy adventure. It's been very tough, very difficult, but I was able to do it.
Wait.
Can you describe?
So he traveled all around Africa on his motorbike? Is that what I'm getting from this? So he's going to discuss the troubles that he's had on the road traveling between different countries. So this is maybe more interesting than I originally thought. So I'm glad we actually got a chance to watch this video because I haven't seen it. So this is my first genuine reaction to it. Oh, what's up, Mia? How are you? I'm doing good. I'm glad to be on live, man. I missed last week by I was not feeling that well, but yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for tuning in. Let's continue.
I mean, how beautiful Africa is across all the 28 countries that you went through?
I mean, if I have a word to describe Africa, it's just one. Africa is awesome.
Africa is awesome, bro. Look at this. This is all in Africa, bro.
You never get to experience the awesomeness and the beauty of the continent until you travel.
Ella's like Namibia.
Which country was your best moment?
Namibia.
Bruh.
Which country will you say was your most challenging?
There were a couple of things that really challenged me on this trip. But I would say Senegal really challenged me a lot.
Oh, Senegal.
Mainly because of how the border crossing went.
Oh, wow.
Sorry? What does that mean?
He is also unlawfully charging me 2,000 francs. That's crazy. Mia, I do not stream daily. I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But I release a video on YouTube every single day and one short every single day. So the hustle doesn't stop. I may be able to stream every day. You never know. That's another way I can kind of make the channel better. But yeah, I should stream daily, honestly. But Mia over at Twitch, so I appreciate you for tuning in. But this guy here, look at this border crossing though. It looks like somebody just set up like a lemonade shack and put this guy here to start stamping passports. It's crazy. It doesn't look official at all.
No, I don't have that amount. What? I don't have that amount.
Extortion.
Everything is fine.
No, if you don't pay, they will not allow you to cross.
Why am I paying? What is wrong with the passport?
No, even the passport, even me.
Let me pay.
Even the passport, you have to
No, I'm asking, what is that standard to pay for a stamp?
Yeah, no, they will pay.
Because this is a West African passport. This is Senegal, I'm a Ghanaian. ECOWAS passport.
This is wild. He's catching it on camera.
What is the problem?
Albeit with bad audio, but
It's not about the money. I just want to know why.
Our borders have now become avenues for extortion.
What do you pay for, actually?
But no, till now. All the way from Benin, I still don't understand why we're paying that money. I don't know if it's official. I don't know if it's not official. All I know that in every border, they keep asking us for...
So if you're trying to make an account now,
every border
employer, you're trying to make an account. What you go tell us you pay for?
I'll put it on that bribe.
Can you share your African border experience with me in the comment section or any of your social media platform, and make sure you tag me because I am going to be there to read it. I mean, it's about time for Africa to be borderless. It's about time to allow free movement of Africans within Africa.
I agree.
This is what I have a problem because I believe that so many Africans don't even understand when it comes to the word borderless Africa.
Let me pause it just for a second. Mia got some questions here from Twitch. Guys, everybody on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, I can get every single chat here. I see everything. So go ahead and participate in the chat. Mia says, where are you from? I'm from Detroit, Michigan, originally, Mia. But I stay in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I always represent Detroit when I'm on stream and when I'm in public. Detroit is where it's at now, man.
Because what I understand is that whenever you try to talk about borderless Africa, a lot of Africans are scared because of our security. Borderless does not mean that cut down the borders.
So a borderless Africa doesn't have to mean chaos. If the right policies are in place, we can have both open borders and protection.
There's one African passport. That's what it means, okay? And one African passport may mean that I still hold my Ghana passport, but it's first and foremost an AU passport. It may have Ghana on it, but it's an AU passport. And it means that I can travel across the continent with it, or I can travel across the continent with my ID card.
Wow, imagine that.
I don't need a visa. Okay? That's the first thing about borderless Africa. Borderless Africa means that I can apply for a job in any country. And when I get a job, I can move there.
Yep.
And I don't need to apply for citizenship and the rest of it. I can begin the process of acting like a citizen. You may not allow me to vote, it may not matter to me that much. A borderless Africa means you can get up and go and set up business wherever you want, so long as you can create a market for it. A borderless Africa means that there will be no customs at the borders who extort money from us.
Wow. Like we got to take a second and digest kind of what he was saying. And that idea isn't too far-fetched because they're already doing it in Europe. They've been doing it in Europe for decades already. So they have the European Union. Everybody knows they have one currency. They can travel through the Schengen region without going through customs or passport or using passports or anything. They can just go through that area and they can relocate to different countries within Europe. They can get jobs in different countries in Europe and they can move freely. So the idea isn't too far-fetched, right? So they have this idea in Europe already. And what we want to do in Africa is to kind of enable the same type of access to each African country and call it the African Union and use one currency and have one passport, or you can still have your own country's passport. But what they're essentially trying to do is make Africa the superpower it is supposed to be. Africa is so rich in natural resources, it's insane. Literally, the ground under Burkina Faso is gold, bro. If you look it up on Google, a lot of the gold in Africa is in Burkina Faso. A lot of people don't know that. But Africa is very natural resource rich. And if they happen to combine like Captain Planet and combine their powers, they're going to be the biggest superpower the Earth has ever seen. I promise you guys, man, this is going to be a reckoning. If this ever happens, if they do anything similar to the EU, the European Union, and do it in Africa, bro, it's a wrap. Everybody is going to be moving to Africa, man. I promise you.
Rwanda currently offers visa-free for all Africans visiting the country, and business is really booming.
I gotta go to Rwanda, man.
Why can't all countries in Africa follow the suit?
In ECOWAS, we have it. ECOWAS, if you fly into Nigeria, you don't need a visa. I agree with you that the borders and the parochial things that the people do there it's not sanctioned. I mean, these are corrupt individuals who try to take advantage of a situation.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, in ECOWAS, we should be able to travel to and from each other's countries without paying anything, the passport control or whatever control is just for record purposes and to capture the statistics of how people go back and forth. But otherwise, you're not supposed to pay anything. And I do think that we should sanction people like that.
Facts, bro.
I feel like it's so difficult for an African to travel within Africa. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I do, and I suffer.
It looks like Dapper Dan, bro.
I just got back from Namibia, and obviously there's no direct flight from Accra to Windhoek. So I had to go through Joburg. And I used 2 passports.
Use 2 passports, bro.
From Accra to Windhoek, it was easier for me to apply online with my Ghanaian passport. But to get through Joburg, it was easier to use a British passport.
What?
So, which means that even in Africa.
What? Did y'all hear that? What? It was easier for him to transport through South Africa with a British passport than it was with a Ghanaian passport. And Ghana's on the same continent as South Africa. That doesn't make any sense, bro.
So, which means that even in Africa, our passports are useless.
In some places, I wouldn't go as far as say useless, but in some places, using European passport gives you easy access from one African country to the other.
That's wild.
The saddest part of the visa restrictions among Africans is the fact that even in Africa, animals move freely than Africans themselves. Because I was in Masai Mara, and it was easy for the animals to move from Masai Mara to Serengeti, and from Serengeti back to Masai Mara.
Wow.
Africa was partitioned, divided by Europeans. Have you ever been to Europe? Do you live in Europe? Is it so difficult for you to travel within Europe with your Schengen visa or your European passport?
Hey, Mia, I already answered the question.
When they created the EU, I lived in Europe, and before.
He's drawing the same comparison between the EU and how they're doing things and how they can kind of replicate that in Africa and make it the African Union. So he's touching on that now.
All that. Even driving, it was difficult for me to drive from Berlin West to Berlin East. And I lived in Europe, and I could drive. As kids, sometimes we used to drive maybe from Duisburg or from Düsseldorf in Germany to Amsterdam to go and party. But you go through borders. And I lived and saw that I could drive from Germany all the way to France without stopping at any border.
Crazy, bro.
I love how it's so cool to travel from one country to another in Europe with just one visa.
Go for it, Mia. Anything. You can ask me anything.
I'm just hoping that my continent can learn from this, man.
This is my dream one day. Say this thing happening in Africa. We have our differences, but we have to find together to come to. These white people have their differences.
Exactly.
They have some part there, they don't like them if we are living here. Here they have the rich land, like rich development country, not rich, development country and poor countries. You know what I'm saying? And the other borders in about to and the people who are planning, we're planning what about to do.
And we are still feeding on the border created by
see, you go to Uganda, they see their brother. They are fighting. They will leave this foreigner, this like Chinese, and we're sorry to say this thing.
Bro, what is he saying, bro?
Oh, just down confirm.
All right, okay. He got subtitles. He got subtitles at the bottom. I'll read it. Foreigners enter the country easily, but you are pushing your anger to people who look like you.
Me that I look like you. Some African countries decided to impose visas on other African countries. But the question that I really want to ask, why is it so expensive to apply for visas within Africa? Listen,
that's a good question.
For instance, when I was going to Congo, I had to pay $250 just to apply for visa for Congo. How much does the visa fees cost to go to Congo?
What?
$250 for 3 months once you get entry.
Ooh. And what about multiple entry?
$300.
Bruh.
Multiple entry is $300.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one is the $400? Because I'm seeing $400 on the internet.
The $400 for 6 months. That one goes with the multiple entries.
And to the people of Congo, it's more like a reciprocal for what Ghana did to them.
So it's like sanctions, I guess. It's like, that's crazy. $400 to go to DR Congo for a multi-entry for 6 months. Mia, my Discord should be in the description box of the video, so you can hit me up on Discord there if you want to send me some artwork. But I don't particularly need any artwork for my channel, but I'll see what you got. You never know. I'm not gonna ban you. Don't worry.
Which country was the hardest visas to get?
It was, I would say Botswana, because
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I like Botswana,
in
bro.
Africa, one of the hardest visas that I've ever acquired is the visa to Botswana. It took me literally 2 years for me to get my visa.
Damn.
And even that 2 years, what made it so easy because I made a post like this.
The rate at which my visa to Botswana is stressing me, I guess it's time to fast and pray because this is not normal.
And after this post, that is when my visa was granted. But I've seen a lot of people complaining about why is this so difficult to apply for visa to Botswana as an African.
I didn't get mine at all.
Oh, wow! so how did
He didn't even get it.
I didn't go.
As I speak to you right now, other countries within the continent have tried to come up with a solution to this problem. Have you heard of the Casa visa?
If you have a Casa visa, you using the same visa, you can enter Botswana, you can enter Zambia, you can enter Zimbabwe. So it's a joint visa between 3 countries.
Yeah, but
just to help clients, yeah.
But you won't believe that the Casa visa, we from Africa, we don't qualify.
Don't tell me that.
I am serious, man.
You know about that, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Literally,
the Casa
it's the most
visa?
confusing and interesting visa policy that I've ever had across my travels in Africa. So the Casa word is more like 5 different countries coming together to create a common visa.
Let me read this. The Casa visa. The Casa visa is a conservation area spanning 5 southern African countries: Angola, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, centered around the Caprivi, Chobe, Victoria Falls area. In pursuance of regional economic development through tourism, the republics of Zambia and Zimbabwe, with support of the World Bank in partnership with the Casa TFCA Secretariat, embarked on the development of the Casa pilot project with the aim of facilitating easy movement of tourists between the 2 pilot countries. This is a great start, man. This is a great start to making Africa the AU, the African Union. I can just imagine that one day, bro, that you say that you're going to Africa and you can literally go all around Africa without needing any additional visas, any additional stamps in your passport. You can just get one entry stamp once you land and you can just travel all around Africa freely. I dream of the day of doing that. And when they do that, because it's going to happen within my lifetime, we're going to go together. We're going to do like an IRL all around Africa if we can, if they got Wi-Fi. I'm probably get Starlink for that, but it's crazy, bro. This is such a great idea, and this is a great start. At least they're trying. It's not like they're just trying to stifle any type of movement and forward movement with a border-free Africa. They're actually trying to propose some solutions here with this pilot project called the Casa Visa. So this is a great start, man.
What we are doing as Casa at the moment is we are working on promoting the Casa Univisa. This is an initiative that started as far back as 2011-2012, and it targeted major source markets. And that has been implemented between Zambia and Zimbabwe, whereby a tourist from the designated source markets or countries can enter one of the 2 countries and then find their way,
just walk with a lion.
if they wish, into Botswana for a day trip to Chobe National Park and return to either Zambia or Zimbabwe.
But this Casa visa is supposed to make it easier to travel within all these 5 countries. But the same Casa visa is not for Africans. Can you believe it?
I think that it's because as a continent, we've not yet made those agreements on a diplomatic level and a geopolitical level that would make it easy for people to move around in that way. So the continent is sectioned off, if I can use that expression. There's ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. There's the East African Community. There's SADC, which is a Southern African community. And within these blocks, it's relatively easy to move around. Like I was talking about my West African experience, for instance.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but when you're trying to cross from one block to another, it really depends on that country and their rules. The truth is
that's wild,
that there are a number of countries like Kenya who have opened their borders to all Africans to enter.
Kenya used to be visa-free for me as a Ghanaian, and I believe that it was visa-free for so many African countries until His Excellency made this speech that we all applauded for him.
Beginning January 2024, Kenya will be a visa-free country.
Dude, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with. Like, there's a couple of things I don't agree with the Kenyan government, what they're doing in DR Congo, but this is a W, man. I didn't know that they had visa-free visits to Kenya. Of course, I'm going to go. I love Kenya. I want to go. I want to go to Kenya so bad, man. I want to go to Nairobi, and I also want to go to Rwanda as well. But Kenya for sure, I gotta go. And I heard that Kenya is amazing from what I see from other YouTubers out there. I gotta go, bro.
But unfortunately, he introduced ETA that made Kenya one of the difficult countries to enter. I mean, when I started going to Kenya, it was free to the point that when he introduced the ETA, I had to pay $30 before I go to Kenya. But he complained, just like myself, and at the end of the day, he decided to take away the $30, but still maintain the ETA, and which makes travel to Kenya one of the most difficult things you will ever experience. Let me tell you something that you don't know. After the introduction of the ETA, it had a major effect on Kenya because
So last year, Kenya introduced a visa-free policy that required most visitors to apply online for authorization before leaving their country. But the introduction of the electronic travel authorization, the ETA, which replaced the visa requirement for all visitors, was criticized as a visa under another name. That's crazy. Mia, let me see. You got a comment from Mia real quick. Let me address this, guys. I'm waiting. Can you instead send... Mia, if you want to do business with someone, you most likely, let me just give you a lesson. Like you have to go for that person's attention first, and then you have to, of course, like add them if you want their attention. Like you have to add me on Discord. I'm not going to add you as a friend, unfortunately. You have to come searching for me, okay?
Believe that out of 54 countries in Africa, Kenya dropped from 17 to 46 position in terms of easy travels in Africa. This is crazy, man.
So they stopped it.
When you are even applying for the ETA, they will tell you that the ETA does not support iPhones, so use Android.
Bruh.
What if I don't have an Android?
These people, man, Ghanaian people, the best.
So when I met this brother from South Sudan, he arrived in Ghana because he thought it's visa-free for Africans coming to Ghana.
Like me, when I was coming here online, I was like, I'm gonna get free visa to enter Ghana. But reaching the airport, they said, oh, from South Sudan, $200 for the visa on arrival. Yeah.
You paid $200?
I paid $200.
That is not right, man.
$200 to get to Ghana for them to stamp my passport. Otherwise, I'm gonna go back.
$200?
$200.
No, that's robbery, man.
To make it worse, I actually I budgeted my stay in Ghana with the 200. I thought maybe it's gonna be a visa free for me, and I'm gonna spend the money traveling around and do other things. But now it's affecting me now.
Damn, bro. And Africans, like most Africans, don't make a whole lot of money anyway. And when the ones that actually do travel and they stack up enough money to travel, and then they get hit with like a visa fee like that, $200 US. That's a lot of money, bro, to cross into another country. So for him to pay that and then to be like, oh my gosh, now I can't travel around Africa like I wanted to because I had to pay that visa. That's wild, bro, because you're literally you're hindering the travel of your own people. You're not taxing foreigners coming in. You're not taxing tourists coming in from a different continent. You're literally taxing your own people. I think that's a wild concept. That's crazy work.
Ghanaian going to South Sudan, it was even more expensive than how much he paid. I paid $350 just to go to South Sudan.
Which is not
that is the challenge that Africans had to go through to explore their own continent. And I don't even know why our leaders are always quiet, because for an African to visit Africa and you have to pay $200, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy work.
The restrictions of visa in Africa got no respect for any African, because even the richest man on the continent had to apply for 38 visas before he travels within his own continent.
Bruh. Even an hour ago, I complained to President Kagame.
At least you can come here visa-free.
No, here is the best example, but I told him that, yes, as an investor, as somebody who really wants to make Africa great, I have to now apply 35 different visas on my passport. But you see, the most annoying thing is that, yes, if you are treating everybody the same, then I can understand. You know, I can assure you, Patrick doesn't need 35 visas.
Hey, that's facts, though. That's facts.
No, I said that.
Because he's not African.
What I'm saying, you have...
You do not... You don't need 35 visas on a French passport compared to a Nigerian passport.
35 visas on French passport.
No.
But, you know, so which means you have a freer movement than myself in Africa.
Yeah.
I think that's so
even
wild.
Africa is difficult for the rich. How much more than us?
So now they have issued us with the African Union passport. About a few of us who've gotten the first.
3 of us.
Maybe 3
How much did I have to pay for that?
No, I didn't pay anything.
Come on, I mean,
no.
But look, I mean, I haven't got one. I mean, I support the African Union. They didn't give me one.
But this same African Union passport, you know, I'm sorry, you know, since we're all talking very openly, but I was invited by the president of Angola to come and, you know, see him. And when I went there, I had to be given visa on African Union passport.
That's so wild.
We also travel. We see a lot of challenges at the borders. You see, but you know, when other people are coming, like the whites and so, they just come in, no problem. But as for Africans, you want to ask a lot of questions. Do you have enough money? Where are you going? Do you know this place? For what? We are in Africa. It must be borderless. One Africa, one country. If you fail to do that, I don't know where we are going. Because divided, we fall.
Wow.
United,
we stand.
We were just, I mean, just for the sake of these people. Why?
When I found myself at the Togolese border, because there were thousands of people queued up and they had no money because these guys were requesting for demi from each and every person. And these guys didn't have. They just wanted to go and see their family in Togo. Wow. So they were kept at the border. Wow. I don't understand this. Like, this is the Togo border, and they are telling us that we have to pay $2,000 for each passport, and you don't pay, we are not stamping your passport. And when you stamp your passport, no receipt. But according to the ECOWAS law, if you have an ECOWAS passport, it's okay for you to pass through. This is crazy. And she's like, I'm not going to take your passport if you don't give me $2,000. Wow.
That's wild, bro.
Togo gave me headache. I had to pay a lot of money. And I wasn't crossing the border at the Togo border alone. I was traveling with our brother Goshes and Kodosin. When we got to the border, my goodness, I felt sick at the Togo.
Charles in the building. What's going on, Charles? What's going on, man? How are you, bro? And as Charles says, guys, smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed. Let's go. Charles in the building, man. Shout out to you, bro.
This border.
Great to see
Because
you.
we were there for hours and I was dehydrating. I almost collapsed.
Wow.
Because I had to be talking back and forth. The Togolese insisted we pay huge sums of money because we are on bigger bikes. And we were like, for what reason? So Togo is the toughest border in West Africa so far. Right at the border, we met this guy, middle-aged guy from Switzerland, also on a motorbike. And it was easier for him to process his papers at the border than a Ghanaian. And the Swiss guy literally asked me, I saw the frustration you went through. Wow. What was the problem?
It's all one continent.
We just stamped our passport into Côte d'Ivoire. But instead of being happy being in Côte d'Ivoire, I have a very big question. Why don't ECOWAS issue visas to all the ECOWAS countries? Why do they keep extorting people in the border?
I don't know.
But how much do you pay?
5,000 sepa.
What is it for?
Yeah.
How much do you pay to enter Ghana?
To enter Ghana, we paid. How much did you pay? I can't remember.
5,000.
5,000 too. Yes.
What you pay for? What is it for?
Wow. It's for nothing, to be honest. I think that is extortion.
So why don't ECOWAS put visa? We know we're paying for visa. Let us pay for visa. We know what we're paying for. Even if the visa is $100, at least we know we're paying for something.
But these things are not sanctioned.
This does not make sense.
Sanctioned.
And to be funny enough, they told us 15,000. We have to price to 5,000. So
that's
what are
extortion.
Is this rice and beans?
Things like this that happens at our border, it's a shame. Can you believe that? I'm a Ghanaian and I was just going to see my brother in Ivory Coast and I had to go through this. When I was going to Ivory Coast, it's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my whole life is the fact that these guys were telling me that I need to pay 10,000 francs because my passport has never been to Ivory Coast before, so I have to pay 10,000. You see, I was in a hurry because I had only 6 days, so I didn't want to argue with anybody. I entered the country. I still paid the money. I ended up spending over 75,000 francs when I was going to the country. But I was in a hurry. I had to go do my stuff and get out. That's why I had to pay for the money. But at the end of the day, coming back, going to my own country, telling me that I have to pay again to exit.
I slept in the border so many times.
Oh, this is the chick that drove from the UK to Africa, and she still had issues driving through different countries. If you guys don't remember, if you guys don't remember her, we actually did a reaction video to her traveling via car within Africa. This was intense. I didn't think he would actually go back to this.
Literally, I had no choice but to sleep at the border. In Liberia border, I slept there for 2 nights.
Wow.
Because they were just like, you cannot go in, this is our rules. But there are bylaws, and it's just, they make it so difficult. It makes you question ECOWAS. Like, you know, their freedom of movement, is it really there? Is there such a thing as that?
Is it only in Liberia that you face such a problem?
Liberia, Senegal, Sierra Leone, even Ghana.
What happened in Ghana? We're in Ghana. See, this is the home of Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes.
He wanted a united Africa.
Africa, yes, but that's not the case.
But it's a struggle to enter Ghana.
That was one of the things I wanted to do. But before I embarked on this, a lot of people say, oh, you know, contact the embassy and things like that. And I'm like, I never have to do that when I'm traveling within Europe. Why must I contact my embassy? Why must I have connects and people before I travel freely? So that is one question that I wanted to ask. Can a black traveler explore Africa without any contact? And the answer is no.
No.
And the thing is that we do need to talk about these things. Like you made the good fight. In Ivory Coast, I got to the border at 10 a.m. I wasn't allowed to leave till 7 p.m. I had no choice to drive in the dark. That led to almost a fatal accident.
Oh, I remember this. She did crash.
I shouldn't have been on the road at that time anyways. Because of the border delay, it has a ripple effect. People's life are at stake at a point. It's like ridiculous.
You had an accident?
I did. A really bad one.
It's super crazy knowing that stuff like that are happening at our various borders and our various leaders are quiet.
I think it tells you that we're still stuck in the colonial system.
Yeah. It's the mindset, the colonial mindset.
You could say that for those who push their policy, it's an attempt to make it easier for tourists to get into the country. Okay? But what about African tourism, if that's the case?
Africans need to find a solution to this challenge. It's an African problem and it needs an African solution. And like you're right to say, the African Union needs to find solutions to these challenges.
We need to wake up. All these seemingly kind of handcuff things that we are doing business in against ourselves. It's depressing, really. Truly, truly depressing. I mean, look at Europe. Look at Europe. Look at America.
Borderless.
Can you imagine?
51
and here,
state,
just because I speak a different foreign language, just because I can't speak French, they have to terrorize me and make me feel so bad. And just because they can't speak English, we have to terrorize them and make them feel bad. We need to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. This is mental slavery.
Bro, like that is the quintessential theme of this video. Is they're the same people, they may speak different languages, they may have a little bit of a different culture, and they believe in these borders that were created by people that weren't even from the continent. And now they're trying to break free of all of these borders and make it a borderless Africa and make it more akin to the EU, right? They're taking example from the Europeans again, right? And then they're trying to just free themselves and make it a little bit easier for Africans at least to travel within their own continent freely. That's all they really want, bro. We keep hearing stories over and over again about YouTubers like Wodamaya, Taya Waina, the chick that drove her car from the UK to Africa and within Africa. All of these people have had issues traveling within Africa easily. Okay? Let me just go to Charles' comment here. Every time I think I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. I agree with that, man. To a certain extent, right? But that's life, man. Life always throws you curveballs, and you got to make lemonade out of lemons, bro. And that's the best way that you have to just adapt. You have to learn to adapt as an adult, right? Because life is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be smooth sailing on the way up to the top. You definitely hit some road bumps, and you have to recover and come back stronger. That's how we truly become better as human beings. And people need to keep that in mind. When they take L's, the L's should be lessons.
Do you think Africans are ready for free movement of Africans within Africa?
I think Africans are ready, but it's Africa that is not ready.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that Africans, if you create the access for them, if you facilitate free movement of people, goods and services, they will take advantage of that.
Of course.
Okay? But the physical being of Africa is what is not ready. We haven't made it ready to facilitate the free movement of people, goods and services.
Whose responsibility is that?
First and foremost is the responsibility of the political superstructure.
Of course.
And what is interesting, you talk about free movement of people. There have been protocols that allow that. There have been protocols for single air transport system or market in the continent. It hasn't been implemented. There are protocols for all manner of stuff that we haven't implemented them. We created ECOWAS, SADC, AC, all of them to allow free movement of goods, people, and services.
It's about time for every African living in Africa to understand that Africa is for Africans. And when you open Africa for Africans, Africans are going to travel and do business. This will be the effect of Borderless Africa.
This market was created from traders coming from Kenya. Yeah, so there are two markets basically in Bulaya that were created from traders from Kenya.
That's not my audio, guys.
There's one
that's
called
the video.
Bulaya Curious Market. Okay. Yeah, so those, remember Bulaya was the stopover point for traders, for laborers, sorry, coming from West Central and East Africa going to Joburg.
Wow.
The Witwatersrand, what we call the city of Joburg now.
Okay.
But when they got here, sort of like there was a coincidence, the economic boom that was occurring here in Bulawayo.
There we go.
You're such a visionary, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that made the hotel on a bus. This was a really good idea, man, because people need to see Africa, or at least that particular country, and for them to see it on a place that they're actually living in temporarily is kind of nice.
You brought
it's
this
luxurious
idea to this country.
That's correct.
Is this something that existed, or you're the first person to do this in Botswana?
No, the first. It was non-existent.
Bruh.
It was just building up ideas. It was a single decker, which we imported from UK. Then we brought it here. It was a moving office. Then we changed it from scratch to make a moving hotel.
Very, very good idea.
Listen, I am so impressed. You said you're from?
Born Zimbabwean.
Born Zimbabwean?
Currently based in UK, moving back to Botswana. We are going to be stationed here in Botswana.
Why Botswana?
In terms of stability, it's one of the best countries within Africa, and the economy is quite booming up. And in terms of tourism, you can't beat it.
How long have you been running this restaurant? 2 to 3 years. Okay. So you came from Ghana just to establish restaurant in Burkina?
Yeah. No, I came from Ghana to visit someone.
Okay.
But when I got here, I realized that I was finding it very difficult to eat. You know, Burkina people don't like pepper.
So
I just decided to see the opportunity.
Wow. So you believe that the opportunity in here is worth it?
Mm-hmm. Most of the ambassadors eat here. I'm all over. Everybody knows me.
You're doing businesses across the continent of Africa, especially sub-Saharan Africa. I want to know if you can share your experience with me doing businesses in Africa from one country to another. How is that like?
Okay, first, Maya, remember that I started moving around Africa some 30-something years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Before, when I used to go to Ghana at the very beginning, I have to get into Ghana Airways, and it will hop into 6 different countries before I get there. Now there's a difference. Now, air travel also is a bit expensive now. It can be cheaper. What they need to do is to harmonize the tariffs, lower the taxes. Because I'll give you a very good example. The tax between Senegal, when you travel between Senegal and Dakar, which is a 20-minute flight.
Yeah.
The tax on the ticket is more expensive than the ticket itself. So if they remove the tax and make it a local flight,
I did not know that.
people will travel like what we call poda.
Yeah.
You get to the airport, more airlines will come, and then you can move.
Yeah.
So government needs to remove that tax. Between Benin and Lagos, you know, Cotonou and Lagos, you need to have some shuttle just going in and out. Between Lome and Accra, same thing.
Yep.
Wild how difficult it is.
What do you think will happen on the continent if Africa becomes borderless?
I am Gambian, and I have investments in 9 African countries. Take, for example, again, here in Sierra Leone, where we are. It's like home for me.
Yeah.
So if they ease up the travels and get more airlines to come in and lower the prices and then take out all this bureaucracy, business will boom up because people will now cross the borders easily.
Clearly, it may mean that Kenyan Airways will have to do some more work. It may mean that Ethiopian Airlines will have to do some more work. Egypt Air may have to do some more work. You know, all the airlines that we have, they may have to do some more work. It means that we can begin to create our own Amazons. Look, a borderless Africa will have no competition.
Yeah.
All right?
Zero competition,
Our music is rich. Our culture is rich. Okay? Our diversity is rich. Okay? Our natural resources are rich. Okay? Our youth are hungry, energetic, and dynamic. And if we begin to work among ourselves, we begin to see how we can collaborate, how we can coordinate, how we can bring our forces together, whether it's economic, whether it's cultural, whatever it is, the more we work together. Because, look, the divide and rule has become an albatross around our neck. And the divide and rule is not like there's division for somebody else to rule. But we have these little fiefdoms that we are controlling and calling ourselves as of states and what have you, and MPs and the rest of it. You can still do that and be governors and the rest of it. But I think really for me, the political unity doesn't really matter much to Africans. What they care, okay, is the ability to move freely, okay? All right, party freely, work freely.
Oh, they're marching for this too. Y'all see that?
Okay.
So the sign says, why do others have more access to our continent than us? Which is a damn good question. That's crazy. If you're in the US, man, imagine if you had to use your passport to go state to state. That's essentially what Africa is experiencing, right? So you had to use your passport to go from Nevada to California or from Florida to New York. You have to use your passport and you have to pay taxes every time that you move states. That's essentially what Africa is experiencing now. So I understand why they want a borderless Africa, because it's the same damn continent. It's the same continent, bro.
All right, party freely.
Same people.
Work freely, sell freely. And it doesn't matter.
Marry freely.
And marry freely, as you've done.
You think it's possible?
Why can't it be possible?
Amazing.
The only thing we have is we don't want to accept each other.
You are right.
Africa, the only thing that can help us is to unite. Tailor our education to suit the African style.
Waafrika wanataka, vijana kwa wazee, watoto wanataka Afrika iliyo uhuru bila mipaka yoyote. Na Waafrika wenyewe wameamua, vijana wameamua, na wazee wameamua. Kwa hiyo viongozi wote wa Afrika msikie hili. Waafrika wanataka Afrika iliyo uhuru.
Africans want a continent without any borders.
Bila mipaka, ili tuweze kufanya
so that we can be able to establish businesses.
Biashara, ili tuweze kuishi pamoja.
So that we can live together. I'm reading it for the people that can't see the subtitles behind me because I know it's blocking out a little bit. So I'm going to read just every subtitle that comes up.
Tuzaliane.
Marry each other and expand our continent.
Tuongeze bara letu, tulime pamoja.
Farm together, y'all can see that.
Tusaidiane vyakula.
Help each other with food.
Hairuhusiwi na haitakiwi.
It is totally wrong for one country in Africa to lack food. That's facts, bro. That is facts.
Nchi moja inakosa chakula wakati nchi nyingine ndani ya bara hili kuna
while another country in the same continent has sufficient food. That is facts, bro. That is big facts. That's crazy. That's like, it's like your neighbor having like plentiful resources and you're really good friends with your neighbor and you have no resources and they won't share with you even though they have an abundance of resources. And it's crazy to me, man. And you're desperate need of these resources. They won't give it to you.
Chakula kwa sababu ya mipaka. Kwa hiyo mipaka iondolewe. Huu ndio ujumbe.
I thought that we could do better, and we can do better. The excuses are too much. I expect our leaders, our presidents, I expect all of you to do better than you're doing. You owe it to us as your citizens, and we are demanding that you do right by us. Pure and simple. Pure and simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the opportunities are there. All we need is to go out and grab them, and all you need from us is to create an enabling environment to allow you to take advantage of those opportunities. And as I always state, you are not competitors. And I think the big mistake we have made is by making each other competitors. We are not competing. We have yet to satisfy our respective markets. Our problem is that we are not working closer together to meet the demands that our people have.
Indeed, we are not competitors, and it's about time for Africans to embrace each other for us to achieve a prosperous Africa. And a big shout out to Kenya for allowing 52 African countries to enter Kenya freely.
Yes. Yo, Kenya, Kenya. It is official. Kenya is now visa-free for all Africans. You do not need to fill in the electronic travel authorization, or better known as the ETA, or do anything. Just come. Come and see Nairobi, Africa's greatest city. Kenya. Man, I cannot wait to step foot on the continent next year. Y'all are coming with me too, man. Can't wait.
A big round of applause to the people of Kenya. And this is what I want to see each and every African country emulating, because it's about time to allow free movement in Africa.
Africa is the future.
You know what? Tag your president, share this video, because before the end of this year, I want to see more countries in Africa joining Kenya, Rwanda, and the rest. Thank you. My name is Borderless, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Bruh, that was a really, really good video, man.